to my channel. If you are a new subscriber, welcome into the More Ramsey Mansion. And if you are a returning subscriber, you know where your chair is most. Just grab a chair and sit, and let us get into the video. Before we get into the video, if you haven't already subscribed, please remember to click the subscription button, that red button there at the corner, just and that bell on the side so you get notifications every time I post a video. But guys, this encounter is deep. This one is deep. Like, I'm hurt. I'm so hurt. Anyway, guys, so I have a car. My car was turning like 4 years old just the other day, and as per annually you take the car in for service and stuff, and I've been taking my car in for service at the dealership that I bought the car, and yeah, no, it's been going on for a good 4 years, and after 4 years I'm realizing that I need to change my brake pads, because at the end of last year they started making funny sounds. So as I was saying, so it was time for me to change my brake pads. And so when I took my car in for service at the end of January 2020, I asked the service technician to also just check out my brake pads, because I knew that they were making funny sounds and they needed to be changed. And this guy's like, yeah, I'll check them out, and it's gonna cost you 1,300 rand to replace them. I'm like, listen, yes, I need brake pads, but at this point I don't have 1,300, and that service was going to cost me a leg and a half. So no, I was like, you know what, it's fine, don't do it, don't change them, just do your normal service and let's get it over and done with. Fine. So at the end, when he was done there, he's telling me that okay, my brake pads do need to be changed, and also my brake fluid needs to be refilled or something like that. I'm thinking, brake fluid, okay, how much is it? It's like, it's 900 rand. But I heard that guy, okay, I heard him say 900 rand to refill a brake fluid. I'm like, no, I know nothing about cars, but I don't think brake fluid should be 900 rand. I've never heard anybody saying that they need to refill their brake fluid and it's going to cost them 900 rand. I've never heard that before. So I'm like, you know what? I don't have money for that either, so let's leave it. Fine. And then I leave it, but like it's bothering me, like, what kind of brake fluid is 900 rand? Anyway, I get to work and I tell my colleague, one of my colleagues, I'm like, yo, I was told I need to replace my brake pads and my brake fluid. And that guy was like, brake fluid? And he says he does his own service. It's like, brake fluid? But anyway, he never really got to go into it as to why he was so puzzled that I had to change my brake fluid. But anyway, he's like, okay, when you have time, let us look at your car. Like, let me just inspect your brake pads, as well as your brake fluid. But we never got the time, so fine, let that pass, right? And then what happened is, one day, as I was planning to buy the brake pads and the brake fluids, I was just looking around to see, how much is it gonna cost me, and because I actually remember a friend of mine who bought brake pads for their car, and it cost them about 500 rand and about another 250 for labor, so it cost them a good 700 rand. The brake pads, which I didn't get the 1.3. I don't know where that comes from. So anyway, so I go to some guys and I'm like, how much is they sell like parts, how much is brake pads? They tell me like the cheapest is like 300 rand, and it goes up from there, and the brake fluid is like 50 rand, which puzzles me, because how does something that costs 50 rand at a shop suddenly cost 900 rand at a dealership. Anyway, fine. While I was there trying to ask this lady, so basically I was chatting with this sales lady, and another lady came. She came from the same dealership, right? And she has these papers like, no, I took my car in for service. They told me about brake pads and brake fluid, and she said the brake fluid is gonna cost 900 rand. I'm looking at that lady, I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, here are the quotations. And I'm like, they even gave you quotations. This is the same scenario that I have. These people are charging us 900 rand for something that costs 50 rand. I don't understand. I'm not understanding. So anyway, it was really, really bothering me, especially after speaking to the lady. I'm like, this is the thing that these people do, really. Okay, fine. So then the other time I was talking to my colleague somewhere in Feb, my other colleague, and then he's like, oh, so I'm like, yo, I need a holiday. He's like, yeah, but why don't you take a holiday? I mean, you just got a little bit of a bonus. I'm like, that bonus is going into the tires, brake pads, and brake fluid. He's like, okay, tires I get, brake pads I get. Why do you need to replace your brake fluid? And also brake fluid is like 50 rand, dude. It's not like it's gonna take. I'm like, this is the second person to tell me about 50 rand. He's like, also, you don't need to replace your brake fluid. I bet you 100% you don't need to replace your brake fluid. And I'm just thinking, oh, this guy's just being smart with me. But anyway, he's like, after work, I'm going to inspect your car. Fine. So as I was knocking off, he saw me. He walked with me to the car. He's like, okay, trying to check out my tires. Like, your tires don't really need to be changed. There was one of them that was chipped due to my pavement at home. So I was just not comfortable driving the tire. That's why I wanted to have it changed. The other tires is like, they're fine. All your tires are fine. But I just felt like I've been driving with these tires for 4 years. I just need to replace them. It's like, yeah, well, they are fine. You don't need to replace them, but if you feel you need to replace them, it's fine. But what he actually advised me is that you don't need to buy all 4 at the same time. Maybe just replace 2 now, and then you can do another 2 later, fine. And then he checked my brake pads, like, yeah, your brake pads are finished, they need to be replaced. But you don't need to replace your brake fluid, because what happens if you replace your brake pads, the brake fluid also replenishes itself. And I'm thinking, this guy is talking engineering terms. I don't even understand what he's saying. But anyway, I'm just gonna let him have it because I'm not about to argue with him, so it's fine. Sharp. End of Feb, I even got a quotation. I went to this place called how can I forget? Malas. Yes, Malas. It's in Visagie and Potgieter in Pretoria. So it's like a one-stop shop type of thing. So I went to Malas, I bought my tires, I bought my brake pads, and then I forgot about the brake fluid completely. Fine. And then this guy, okay, so they changed my tires, fine. And as well, they were changing my brake fluid. I'm asking this guy, so I told him that, you know what, at my car dealership, they told me that I also need to replace my brake fluid. And that guy was like, no, you don't need to replace your brake fluid. And I'm like, yo, and they told me a very ridiculous amount of money. He was shocked. He was like, how did they even get to that amount of money? How do you justify that? How do you calculate that? He was confused. But anyway, what he did is when he took out the brake pads, the old brake pads, he told me to look at the brake fluid tank thingy. It's like, look, I mean, it was almost overflowing. And I mean, I couldn't understand. Like, I was told I needed to replace this fluid for 900 rand. Here it is overflowing. Almost overflowing. It wasn't overflowing. And what this guy told me was that the brake fluid is pushed by the pressure from the brake pads, something like that. So the thicker the brake pads, the more brake fluid you have. As the brake pads finish and they become thinner, the brake fluid also goes down because there's a pressure going on between the two, right? And as soon as he put in the new brake pads, that brake fluid basically corrected itself to the correct amount. And I'm thinking, this guy is telling me that, you know what, had I refueled the brake pads, the brake fluid, when I replaced my brake pad, it was going to overflow, like it was going to spill basically, and I would have basically lost the entire brake fluid that I replaced because it was not necessary. And guys, I'm just sitting there thinking, thank God I did not have 900 rand at that time, because I would have just thrown it down the drain, literally. And I believe this is something, I mean, based on it's actually been proven, because another person came to me with the same scenario. So this is a thing they do. They make you buy things that you don't need. And if you don't know, you are effed. If you don't know, you are doomed, because you're going to be paying for stuff that you don't need. How the hell do you explain 900 rand, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 900 rand. How do you justify that? Like, it's even unfair. Like, I'm still shocked. I'm sitting here thinking, I don't even trust my dealership anymore. So what I'm doing now is, anytime anybody tells me that, if ever I go to my dealership, or if any mechanic tells me that I need to replace the bonnet of my car, or I need to replace the top of my car, or I need to replace my car seats, or I need to replace my steering wheel, whatever I need to replace, I'm going to consult a few people, right? I can see that I can consult some people at work. I'm going to consult my dad. I'm going to consult my uncles. Listen, I'm going to consult everyone that I know, and I'm going to then make a decision from there. Because you know what, these people are going to make you replace your car when you don't even need to replace it. So if you have a car and maybe you have no clue what's going on with the cars and whatever, maybe you want to consult before you pay 900 rand for stuff you don't know. Okay guys, this is where I'm going to leave it with the video. I'm hoping this video is going to help someone, because I feel like I was saved by asking the right people the right questions. But yeah, some people are not as privileged or as lucky as I am. So I'm hoping this video will help someone save some money. Open your eyes, close your wallet. Open your mouth and ask, close your wallet. Okay guys, that's why I'm gonna leave it with the video. And remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Maybe you've had the same experience, or know someone who's had the same experience. And yeah guys, I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.